Welcome to the fourth part of a 5-part tutorial from George Mason University Libraries on working with census data and GIS software. In part 4, we'll locate and download relevant boundary files, use ArcMap to join tables and associate our data with a map, create a layered map of a key variable, and save our map as an ArcMap file. We're going to map the data we converted into a DB4 file format in part 3 of this tutorial. First, we'll need to download map boundary files, also called shape files. These are files that contain geo-information about physical locations around the world. In this case, we need to download boundary files for census tracts in Fairfax County. The U.S. Census Bureau provides an extensive collection of shape files for free download. So open your web browser and go to census.gov. Scroll down, and next to the geography line, select Tiger. This will take you to the Tiger homepage. Tiger stands for Topologically Integrated Geographic Encoding and Referencing System. Scroll down till you find 2009 Tigerline shape files. Find the link for Download Shape Files on the left. On the drop-down menu, find Virginia. Under Virginia Counties, find Fairfax County. And finally, under the list of available files, find Census Tract. Click it and select Download. As you can see, the Census website provides the files you need in a zip file. If you recall from part 1 of this tutorial, a zip file is simply a format that lets you condense multiple files into a single file. So go ahead and save your zip file in your Census project folder. Now, I've already done it to save a little bit of time. When you do it, if you do it for the first time, it can take a little bit of time to download because it is a fairly large file. So give it some time to finish. Once it's finished, go ahead and close your web browser and open up your Census project folder. Now we're going to need to extract the files from the zip file. Before we do that, go ahead and create a new folder and call it Shape Files. This is where we'll store our boundary files to use in ArcGIS. Now double-click the zip file. This time around I'm going to use WinZip to open up the file. So click Agree if you're also using WinZip. Now notice that the file, when you double click, it provides you with a second zip file. So it's a zip file within a zip file. So simply double click again, click I agree to WinZip again. This time you'll see a list of 5 different files. These are the shape files that we actually need. So go ahead and click Extract. Select your shape files folder as the target folder. Click Extract, close out of your WinZip windows, and open up your shapefiles folder, and here are our shapefiles displayed. Once we know they've downloaded and been extracted properly, go ahead and close the folder and open up ArcGIS. We'll be using ArcMap. Once ArcMap is open, make sure that a new empty map is selected and click OK. Now we need to add our newly downloaded shape files for Fairfax County. To do this, find the Add Data button on the toolbar. It looks like a plus sign against a yellow background. Once you've clicked on the Add Data button, give it a moment to find your folders. Now go in your Census Project folder and open up the Shape Files subfolder and click on the file that appears there. Click Add. And once you've done that, ArcMap should provide a map of Fairfax County divided by census tract. Under Layers in the left-hand window, you should be able to right-click on the new layer for Fairfax County and click on Open Attribute Table. And you should see various attributes of each census tract displayed. Now we also need to add our poverty data. So go ahead and click the Add Data button again, and this time go back into our Census Project folder and find the file that we had created in part 3 of this tutorial, CensedB4. Click Add, Now right-click on this new file and click Open. And you should see here our census data displayed. This is the data that we had downloaded in parts 1 of this tutorial and then converted to a different format. We should also include our POV 65 above data. Now we have two files open in ArcMap, our census data and our boundary files of Fairfax County. To map our census data, we'll have to join these two files. Joining is simply another word for combining two files. It's a pretty easy process to do, and it's a foundational skill in using ArcGIS. The key to successfully joining two files is to find a data field that exists in both files. If you can find a single matching data field between both files, it will give you a foundation upon which you can combine them. Scroll to the left in our census data and find the column that begins GOID2. This provides identifying numbers for each census tract. These same numbers are used in our shapefile. So close out of our census data, right-click on our shapefile layer, click Open Attribute Table, and find the field that uses the same identifying numbers as our census data. The field that we want is called CTID-FP00. Now, I've checked in advance, and I know that these identifying numbers are the same in both tables. If you want to be extra sure, you can right-click on the column heading and either sort ascending or descending and visually inspect the two data fields in each file. This column will provide the basis for our join. Joining as a process is pretty straightforward. Simply close this data window. Right-click again on our map layer, select Join and Relates, and select Join. In the top field here, make sure that Join Attributes from a table is selected. Step 1 asks you to choose a field from the current map layer that we'll use to make this join. We'll want to use the CTID-FP00 field we just identified. So in the drop-down menu, find this field. In step 2, make sure Sense DB4 is selected, and in the final field, select GOID2 and click OK. Now, if we right-click again on our map layer and select Open Attribute Table, scroll to the right, and you should see our census data appended to the other data columns in our map layer. This includes our key data series, population over age 65 below the poverty level. Now we want to change the appearance of our map so that we can see this data readily displayed. To do this, right-click on our map layer and select Properties. Select the Symbology tab, and in the left-hand box, select Quantities. Select Graduated Colors. Now, in the Value field just to the right of this box, open the drop-down menu and select our key data series, POV 65 above. Finally, choose a color ramp. You can choose any color you like, but it's easiest to see data of this kind if you use a single color that varies from light to dark. In this case, I'm going to stick with light blue to dark blue. Notice that ArcGIS automatically divides our data into 5 ranges. You can adjust the number of intervals if you so choose, and ArcGIS will automatically calculate the new value ranges. For now, let's just stick with 5. Hit Apply, and hit OK. Now our data is readily displayed. Finally, let's save our map. Go to File, Save As. Make sure we're saving in our Census Project folder, and call this file FFX POV 65 map. This will save our file as an ArcMap document and let us return to it to work with it later. Now proceed to part 5 of this tutorial, where we'll prepare our map for use in a written report.